what happened was that these orders, no clear-cut orders were given, and in fact, no orders to violate this treaty, this accord of 1996 was ever issued at any level. Then India did a counter-intrusion. To the Chinese intrusion, we gave a tit for tat. In south of the Pangong Tso, in the Kailash range, that Rezangla ridge, we went and occupied the empty Rezangla ridge, the Kailash range.
From Asia's largest news headquarters, setting the agenda for Bharat. You're watching Republic.
This edition of Trending, ladies and gentlemen, will bring you stories that have shocked the nation, stories that are breaking the internet and stirring a debate. Tonight, we start with a heartbreaking story from the National Capital Region, in which 3 young sisters allegedly committed suicide. The possible reason behind this is said to be a Korean game, an online task game, bringing the lens on digital addiction once again. So the concern surrounding digital addiction is gripping not just the country but the entire world. The global debate on children and digital safety is intensifying, with Spain now announcing a ban on social media for under 16, set to become the first European nation to do so, to ban social media for the teens, for minors. This after Australia also committed a similar move. Next up, we tell you how actor Manoj Bajpayee's next Netflix release, Ghoos Corps Pandit, finds itself in the middle of a controversy. The backlash is over the title, netizens calling it offensive and casteist, sparking boycott calls on Netflix. We have this and a lot more packed up for you in this edition. I'm Rakta Mishra and you're watching Trending Tonight. From Ghaziabad in National Capital Region, a tragedy that has left an entire family shattered and raised urgent questions about the unseen dangers children are facing behind closed doors. This is about 3 minor sisters, 12, 14 elders being 16 years old, lost their lives after jumping from the 9th floor of their apartment building late at night. 3 young lives, full of promise, gone in an instant. Police are investigating this as a suspect case of suicide, possibly linked to an online task-based mobile game that the girls reportedly had become obsessed with. Preliminary findings suggest that the sisters were spending long hours on the app, following instructions, and had grown increasingly withdrawn. A suicide note has been recovered, with the girls apologizing to their parents. A diary detailing their emotional struggles has also been found. FIR has been registered. Investigation is underway, including the scrutiny on the gaming app involved. Incident has once again raised serious concerns over online gaming addiction and the mental health of minors who are glued to the screens, glued to their smartphone sets. And in fact, what we understand is that, as per the father's version, he has revealed that they had patterns of addiction to Korean culture, to K-pop. They referred to themselves as K-princes, also Korean princes, giving them each other some Korean names also. But viewers, what is under lens is the addiction. Long before the Ghaziabad tragedy, the world had already seen warnings of how online task-based games can psychologically endanger teenagers. And one of the most infamous examples was the Blue Whale Challenge, which surfaced around 2016-2017, allegedly operated through social media platforms where vulnerable teenagers were contacted by anonymous handlers and assigned a series of escalating tasks. Several teenage deaths across India, Russia, South America, and parts of even Europe were linked to the phenomenon, triggering panic and government advisories. Now, take a listen, in viewers, to the father of the 3 girls who allegedly committed suicide in the case coming in from Ghaziabad.
ये उनके फोन की तस्वीर है कि 50 दिन में 50 टास्क करने हैं।
ये मुझे रात को पता लगा, सारा मुझे अगर पता होता टास्क कौन बाप अपने बच्चे को बनने देगा, आप बताओ। कौन बाप अपने बच्चे को टास्क करवाएगा? क्या अक्सर हम भी गेम खेलते हैं, हम भी लूडो वगैरह खेलते हैं, ऐसे आप भी खेलते होंगे लूडो वगैरह, आप भी खेलते होंगे, क्रिकेट वगैरह खेलते होंगे, लेकिन ये गेम तो मौत का गेम है जी। हमें बताओ तो हमने
खेलते हुए देखा, कभी विरोध किया कि मत खेलिए?
ऐसा था, वो वीडियो यूट्यूब चैनल बनाते थे कोरियन का, तो हमने सोचा कि जी यूट्यूब चैनल बनाते हैं, तो यूट्यूब चैनल बनाते होंगे, बस हमें क्या बता दीजिए, यहाँ तक बात आ जाएगी कि बच्चे जंप मार देंगे। हाँ जी,
कोरियन गेम है।
हाँ जी।
कब से ये यूट्यूब ये सब चीजें बना रहे थे?
3-1 साल से जी।
So now the global debate around children, about teenagers and digital safety is now gaining urgency. Spain, in the latest, has announced plans to ban social media access for users under 16 years of age, becoming the first European country set to introduce such a law. While other countries like the UK, the Denmark and Malaysia are tightening the rules to protect minors online as well. Now, government says the concern goes beyond screen time, focusing on cyberbullying, self-harm, content digital addiction and even AI-generated abuse. Australia has already set a precedent. In December, it became the first country to completely ban social media for under 16s. Platforms like Instagram, TikTok, YouTube and X to deactivate underage accounts. Meanwhile, Elon Musk called Pedro Sanchez, the Spanish Prime Minister, tyrant and traitor to the people of Spain after Sanchez introduced 5 new rules for social media platforms and their executives. All right, so just we'll try and...
Spain will ban access to social media for minors under the age of 16. Platforms will be required to implement effective age verification systems, not just checkboxes, but real barriers that work. Spain will ban access to social media for minors under the age of 16. Platforms will be required to implement effective age verification systems, not just checkboxes, but real barriers that work.
All right, joining us live on the broadcast is Dr. Paramjeet Singh, psychiatrist. He's been practical for over 14 years. And many thanks, sir, for joining us on Republic TV. And so this has become a menace now. In fact, this is fatal. This is an alarming situation. It's not the first time this country has witnessed such, deaths linked to online addiction, online games. We saw what happened when Blue Whale had taken over, the Momo game, the Pokemon Go game, or even games. There are other such games as well, even PUBG-linked addiction games where we've seen, a child killing his mother also. So this has taken over the minds of teenagers. Now, on one hand, we see some countries who are mulling bans or restrictions for those who are under 16, sir. First of all, as an expert, what do you feel should be the measure taken at home for all those who have minors in their families? Plus, do you think that such a ban is possible in India? Is that a solution?
Part 1. All the families will need to practice digital hygiene. It will have to start from role models which are adults. We will first need to monitor our own screen usage and ban screens from common spaces, dining tables, sofas where we sit down and talk. So the first thing will have to be hygiene within us. Second, obviously restricted access to mobile, laptops, televisions will have to be done. This is a grave time for digital hygiene. What has happened is very unfortunate. We cannot let this keep happening in our society, and like you said, it's not the first time. So screen control, hygiene and supervision is necessary. About the ban is a welcome step. Australia, now Spain, and many countries in the world are thinking over it. As we are realizing, the rates of addiction, dependence upon the screens are very high, and a growing brain with high impulsivity may not be best equipped to handle this challenge. So leaving it to them is not the best option. So yes, reducing the usage and a possible ban are good ways. So the implementation is very tricky. A sudden implementation may bring about upheaval, truancy, anger against the system. But yes, in the long run, the ban is worthy and supervision is necessary. Ma'am.
Sir, also the fact that you spoke about, adults, setting up an example, but, such is the dependency in our day-to-day life. We work around our WhatsApp groups, our WhatsApp chats, now even schools for that matter, they operate via WhatsApp. While I don't remember, because that WhatsApp was not popular when I was in school, but, things were still, done. Things were getting done without the use of the smartphone. Don't you think it should also begin from the schools itself, that they should, just do away by operating via phones, and phones should only be used not even for, convenience is a thing. COVID times was a different time, or there was no option back then.
Right.
But should the usage of digital be done away with, and there should be measures right from the school itself that should be taken?
Like you said, it started in COVID when it was inevitable
Yes.
and we had no option. But over time, if the school is on the laptop or the mobile, how can a parent or a supervising authority ask the children to step back? So yes, we are living in a time which seems hypocrite in this. We are telling the children not to watch the mobile, but please check the notifications if they come from the school or
Yes.
homework. So yes, it will have to start from school. We will have to teach our children that it is possible to live without the screen or the mobile phone, and it is not the only device. A human connection will anyways surpass this digital need of connection. So yes, schools and parents will have to lead the way in taking away the screen and the laptop and the mobile away from the children.
Right.
Beyond the digital media also, teaching can always happen very, very smoothly. Most of us are trained in the pre-digital era, and I believe the education has served us well. Ma'am.
Dr. Banjveer Singh, many thanks for joining us on Republic TV with your insights on this story. All right, viewers, now shifting focus to the other trending stories now. It's on a Netflix film. Manoj Bajpayee's upcoming film, Ghoos Khor Pandit, has sparked a major online backlash, not for its storyline, but for its title. The very title is under fire. The controversy erupted after the teaser was unveiled, introducing Bajpayee as a morally compromised police officer entangled in corruption and conspiracy. Soon after, social media users accused the film's title of being casteist, alleging it targets a specific community. Netizens have demanded that the makers change the title, with some even calling for a boycott of Netflix if no action is taken. The outrage has outshadowed the film's plot and performances despite a star-studded cast. It includes Nusrat Bharucha, Akshay Oberoi, Shraddha Das, Kiku Shah, and many more. And it's backed by filmmaker Neeraj Pandey, who's the writer. The cop thriller finds itself under scrutiny now as calls grow louder for accountability and sensitivity in naming the creative content. And there have been, of course, a lot of tweets. There have been lawyers of the Supreme Court also who have been calling for a change in the title, so much so that there have been warnings of legal action also that could be taken. All right, with that, we will take a quick check of the trends that are running hot on social media today. Kapil Sharma sparked laughter and raised eyebrows at the same time after taking a cheeky dig at gangster Lawrence Bishnoi during a Netflix India event. While joking with Netflix India VP Monica Shergill about being watched, Kapil quipped that gangsters from a couple of countries were also keeping an eye on him. Realizing the sensitivity mid-joke, Kapil quickly tried to brush it off, only to remember that the event was being broadcast live. Sanjay Leela Bhansali's cinematic classic Devdas is all set for a grand re-release on the big screen. The 2002 period drama starring Shah Rukh Khan, Aishwarya Rai, Madhuri Dixit returns to select PVR theatres on 6th of February. Actor R. Madhavan has opened up about taking a 4-year break from acting before his upcoming movie, calling him disillusioned with work. Madhavan said he felt he was merely dancing to others' tunes instead of using his real-life skills on screen. The pause, he says, helped him rediscover purpose and choose more meaningful, layered roles. Global K-pop phenomenon BTS is officially reuniting for their first live performance after completing military service. The group will perform at Seoul's iconic plaza on the 21st of March, with the concert streaming live on Netflix. The event marking the launch of their 5th studio album, Arirang, already being called the comeback of the decade. The makers of Ramayana are planning a grand reveal on Ram Navami. Reports suggest that the first look of the characters will be unveiled at a mega event at Mumbai's Gateway of India on the 27th of March. Directed by Nitesh Tiwari, produced by Namit Malhotra, the film's unveiling is expected to be a high-profile affair. Presence of the cast in the event yet to be revealed. Zendaya and Robert Pattinson have ignited massive buzz with a new poster for A24's The Drama. Dressed as bride and groom, the wedding-themed visual hints at darker undertones, fueling fan theories ahead of the trailer release. This striking image has gone viral, praising the duo's intense chemistry. Madhuri Dixit and Tripti Dimri come together for a dark comedy that is called Maa Behan. The teaser reveals a twisted premise. A feuding mother and daughter stuck with a dead body in their kitchen. Directed by Suresh Triveni, the film promises sharp humor with a dark edge. Now, Billie Eilish's Grammy Award acceptance speech has triggered a heated debate well beyond music circles. After winning Song of the Year for Wildflower, the singer used the global stage to speak about immigration, protest and resistance, particularly about ICE. Now, the moment that instantly went viral when Eilish said that no one is illegal on stolen land before urging people to keep speaking up and protesting, making their voices heard against the US immigration enforcement amid Donald Trump's immigration crackdown. The comments sparked immediate reaction online.
No one is illegal on stolen land. And yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter, and no one is illegal on stolen land. Yeah, it's just really hard to know what to say and what to do right now. And I feel really hopeful in this room, and I feel like we just need to keep fighting and speaking up and protesting, and our voices really do matter, and the people matter.
And amid the backlash, the Tongva tribe confirmed that Billie's home does not sit on their ancestral land, but stressed that their response is not about targeting the singer personally. Now, what happened was that the Tongva tribe emphasized that the priority is recognition and education, not outrage. They said that moments like this create an opportunity to remind the public that the greater Los Angeles basin remains Tongva's territory. Rather than escalating the controversy, the tribe reframed the debate, calling for explicit acknowledgement of indigenous history in future conversations and using the spotlight to push for visibility of their identity and ancestral presence. And that's all we could pack in this edition of Trending. We'll be right back with the Super Prime Time debate with Arnab Goswami. Thanks for watching.
This deal is a slap in the face of Raghuram Rajan. This deal is a slap in the face of Rahul Gandhi, who called Prime Minister Modi a weak Prime Minister. And I want to tell Rahul Gandhi and Raghuram Rajan, open your mouth and say sorry. Because from the 26% which Trump threatened, he brought it down to 18%. Now that's called the art of a deal. That's called negotiation. That's called putting national interests first. That's called having patience. A deal is not a zero-sum game. When two equal partners sign a deal, it's not only about winning or losing. It's about two parties committing something to each other. These are two large nations. We have shown the world we know how to handle a Trump situation. We're doing well. 2047, Vikasit Bharat, that goal intact, we're on our way.
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
आधे बाउल दही में 4 चम्मच MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला डाला, स्टर करो, पुदीना चटनी तैयार। MDH चटनी पुदीना मसाला।
13,000 placements last year. At Amity, we are committed to nurturing passionate, hardworking and proactive professionals.
थोड़े में ज्यादा स्वाद, ये तो है इसकी खास बात। वाओ मम्मा, क्या स्वाद है? अरे मेरे राजा
केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ रे, दिल झूमे देखो मतवारा हुआ रे, केसरिया से मन जोगी हुआ।
हर पल मनाओ केसरी त्योहार। विमल, बोलो जुबान केसरी।
दादी के हाथों का जादू और खुशबू से महकता घर, माँ की मुस्कुराहट और खाने की सुगंध। MDH गरम मसाला,
क्योंकि हर रिश्ता है स्वाद से जुड़ा।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहाँ नो टेंशन वहाँ।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड।
आर प्योर शाही पनीर मसाला, डिलीशियस, हेल्दी एवरी डे।
Hi, good morning
Hi,
to
how are
you.
you?
Good evening from India. We have announcement of a trade deal, and
Yes.
you've seen both sides. Trump says that India has promised not to buy Russian oil, but Indian Prime Minister's response makes no such commitment. But Trump says, I've reduced the tariffs to 18%. And then he says that besides everything else, Prime Minister Modi has also agreed to buy American, in addition to 300 billion in, 500 billion in some other purchases. Anyway, there's an existing agreement to buy 300 billion, so there's not much of a hard-coded commitment from the Indian side. So Trump is obviously using a lot of hyperbole, making some claims, but the good thing is there's an announcement of a deal. But there's more statements coming from Trump than from India, especially to Trump's statement that India has agreed to stop buying Russian oil. There's nothing official from the Indian side to that. How do you view these developments, Professor Sachs?
Well, basically, the United States is unstable and irresponsible, but backing down from the most outlandish actions of this government a few months ago. They made no sense. They antagonized India. They disrupted trade. And I think somebody finally explained to Trump that none of this was serving any American interests at all. And so Trump has backed down to an important extent. Everything about Trump and trade is erratic, not sensible, not accomplishing any U.S. goals, but better 18% tariffs than 50% tariffs or 500% tariffs. But I wouldn't take at face value any single statement by the U.S. government. I think everything is just complete improvisation, a lot of baloney, a lot of malarkey, but probably somebody has prevailed inside the White House to say, why antagonize India?
So what did Trump or what did America gain in the last
Nothing.
4 months of putting
Nothing.
pressure on India?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Whatever is agreed today could have been agreed before. Nothing is gained. There's no pressure. India has no, U.S. has no leverage on India. So none of this is anything other than Trump's delusion that the U.S. is the be-all and end-all of the universe. And so his writ is the command of for the whole world. But that's Trump's delusion, that the U.S. market is so big, so consequential, so important that he can get every other country to fall into line. But the U.S. market is not very important in this way. The main lesson of the last year is that despite all of the U.S. bluster, the world did just fine last year. it traded more with each other. India and China are in the process of restoring what will be the most important trade relations between the two giants. And in general, everybody is diversifying away from the United States. Even Canada, the country right on our border, has just signed a strategic partnership with China. Britain, which is essentially a vassal state of the United States, was in Beijing.
This morning, Rahul Gandhi, leader of the opposition, created a ruckus and furor in the parliament. In response to the president's address, he insisted upon raising what he said were some issues of vital import to our national security. So what was...
Co-powered by Century Ply Club Prime. रहो बेफिक्र।
MDH की हल्दी मिर्ची धनिया करे कमाल, ये रंग दे, ये खुशबू दे, ये तीखा, ये कम पड़े, क्या निराला MDH मसाला।
अरे टेंशन किस बात की? सेंचुरी प्रोवुड का प्रीमियम प्लस है ना, लो एमिशन है, हाई डेंसिटी है, वाटर रेजिस्टेंट भी, टर्माइट एंड बोरो रेजिस्टेंट भी है। यानी ये है जहां नो टेंशन वहां।
प्रीमियम प्लस बाय सेंचुरी प्रोवुड।
आर प्योर सूजी पास्ता उबालो मिलाओ और खाओ,
8 मिनट में तैयार।
क्या टेस्ट है, सबका राजा आर प्योर मसाला।
झुमका तेरा झुमका तेरा झुमका
नॉट देयर, मेरा काउंटर टॉप टूट जाएगा।
तेरा झुमका मेरी चिमनी टूट जाएगी। What are you doing?
रानी, इस घर में कुछ है जो टूटता नहीं।
ये पिलर कभी नहीं टूटेगा। रुंगटा स्टील TMT से बना।
रुंगटा नहीं तो घर स्ट्रॉन्ग नहीं। रुंगटा स्टील TMT बार एकदम सॉलिड।
MDH की देगी मिर्च,
देगी मिर्च का तड़का, अंग अंग फड़का।
MDH की देगी मिर्च।
This morning, Rahul Gandhi, leader of the opposition, created a ruckus and furor in the parliament. In response to the president's address, he insisted upon raising what he said were some issues of vital import to our national security. So what was he saying? He was trying to cite an article from the Caravan magazine, which in turn was quoting excerpts from General Narwane, the former army chief's unpublished memoirs. It may be recalled that the government had stopped General Narwane from publishing the book. As such, the authenticity of the excerpts cited in the Caravan magazine itself are open to question. But then let's try and take a deeper look at what is this bravura all about. So I have had a detailed look at the article in the Caravan magazine. I have no access to General Narwane's book or manuscript, but we had a look at the Caravan article in detail. So what does this article say? This article talks of the 2020 Chinese intrusions, which had culminated in the Galwan incident, in which 19 Indian soldiers had lost their lives. No weapons had been used, but the Chinese had laid an ambush with pointed stones, with baseball bats wrapped up with barbed wire and nails and studded with lethal handheld weapons. You see, 19 Indians had been killed, but in response our soldiers had given an excellent account of themselves in hand-to-hand combat, and it is said that 45, some claim up to 100 Chinese soldiers were killed, which they tried to hide by saying they had lost just 5 soldiers. The simple fact is that after this violent incident leading to 19 fatalities on the Indian side, we should have thrown the 1996 Peace and Tranquility Accord into the bloody dustbin. Dustbin. Because that accord says that you can't use your weapons. You know, and then you have to get into unseeming boxing matches, kushti matches, karate, this thing, and then start using sticks and stones and all that primitive Stone Age weapons. But you can't open fire. Why not? Why can't you open fire? Because you are defending your territory. And if the other side has drawn blood, it is not just a matter of dhakka mukki now. Well, I think that any local commander is fully justified.
मुझे बस 2-3 लाइन बोलनी है, उसमें सब पता लग जाएगा, but वो बोलने नहीं दे रहे हैं.
But Mr. Gandhi, Narwane's statement has come out. He is saying that not even 1 inch of the land was given.
That's not the point here. Whether the land was taken or not, that's a different question. We'll come to that. I'm not. Let me speak. Let me speak.
But the book is not even published, Mr. Gandhi.
Let me speak. You're all defenders of the BJP.
No, not at all.
Yes. That's your agenda.
जब आप कंट्री के लिए खेलने जा रहे हो एंड यू हैव दैट रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी, इतने सारे लोग देख रहे हैं और सबको एक्सपेक्टेशंस हैं, सो आई थिंक वो प्रेशर रहता है. बट आई एम दैट काइंड ऑफ पर्सन कि मैं उस प्रेशर को एज अ गुड वे में लेके जाती हूँ कि आई एम गोइंग टू रिप्रेजेंट माई कंट्री एंड मुझे अपना बेस्ट देना है. तो वो प्रेशर आई थिंक वो निकल जाता है एंड वो बस फोकस रहता है कि हाउ आई हैव वर्कड हार्ड एंड जो डिसिप्लिन फॉलो किया है, जो सब चीज़ें करी है वो मेरे को एक दिन में दिखानी है. सो आई थिंक उस टाइम पे वो प्रेशर चला जाता है कि मेरे को बस अपना बेस्ट देना है अपनी कंट्री के लिए और अपने लिए.
Opposition crosses the line, blocks Prime Minister's speech. Prime Minister blocked from his Parliament speech. Unprecedented scenes from Parliament, debating at 9 p.m.
This deal is a slap in the face of Raghuram Rajan. This deal is a slap in the face of Rahul Gandhi, who called Prime Minister Modi a weak Prime Minister. Now I want to tell Rahul Gandhi and Raghuram Rajan, open your mouth and say sorry. Because from the 26% which Trump threatened, he brought it down to 18%. Now that's called the art of a deal. That's called negotiation. That's called putting national interests first. That's called having patience. A deal is not a zero-sum game. When two equal partners sign a deal, it's not only about winning or losing. It's about two parties committing something to each other. These are two large nations. We have shown the world we know how to handle a Trump situation. We're doing well. 2047, Vikasit Bharat, that goal intact, we're on our way.
Rahul calls martyr's grandson a traitor. National anger over Rahul Gandhi's comment. The Desh Ka Dushman debate with Arnab, debating at 8 p.m.
This deal is a slap in the face of Raghuram Rajan. This deal is a slap in the face of Rahul Gandhi, who called Prime Minister Modi a weak Prime Minister. Now I want to tell Rahul Gandhi and Raghuram Rajan, open your mouth and say sorry. Because from the 26%...
From the Republic Media Network headquarters, it's time for Arnab Goswami on the debate. Goswami on the debate.
On the show tonight, national anger and concern about Rahul Gandhi's comments and his erratic, unpredictable, almost violent behavior. And at 9 o'clock tonight, how the opposition is looking at form over substance, the ridiculous situation of trying to block the Prime Minister from speaking in the House today. No. And ladies and gentlemen, there have been concerns for a long time about Rahul Gandhi's behavior. Let me first begin with a clear statement. It's not the first time and not the last time we're going to be concerned about the way he behaves. There is a problem. There is a problem. There is a behavioral problem. It may be temperamental problem. It may be a volatility problem. But there is a problem. Now, what happened today? Typical herd mentality behavior. Rahul Gandhi sitting on one of the steps of Parliament doing some kind of a protest with 15 MPs. And then a much younger man walks past. A much younger man. He's 51 but much younger. 51, by the way, is much younger than Rahul Gandhi. Walks past. And he's a parliamentarian. He has been with the Congress party. He left the Congress party in 2024. Rahul Gandhi confronts him and says, "Look there, there goes a traitor." First of all, who talks like that? There goes a traitor. And then he says, "Come here, my traitor friend. Come here, my traitor friend. Shake hands with me." Now this is, I'm sorry to say, mad behavior. There's no other word for the way Rahul Gandhi has behaved with Ravneet Singh Bittu. It's mad behavior. But he continues to behave like that. Ravneet Bittu walks past and says, and then he says, "Don't worry, you'll come back." And then the imperious tone, "Don't worry, you'll come back." Ravneet Bittu at that point of time points to him and he says, "Desh ka dushman, desh ka dushman, desh ka dushman," which has gone viral today, meaning you're an enemy of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the point is not just the incident which happened. We must be concerned because there are some things Ravneet Bittu said later we must investigate. He said Rahul Gandhi tried to physically confront him. But more importantly, he said, and I'm only repeating his words, he says that the person who holds the position of leader of the opposition seemed intoxicated or possibly under the influence of drugs. He went on to say that in his view, because he was in close range, Rahul Gandhi was not in his senses. Now, these are not the first time things like this have been said. My question is whether he was intoxicated or drugged or not. Does a leader of the opposition behave like this? Sushma Swaraj has been leader of the opposition. Atal Bihari Vajpayee has been leader of the opposition. Would you ever imagine them behaving in this, what would I say? I don't want to use intemperamental language, but say this terrible, semi-intoxicated kind of way. Would you ever expect them to behave like this? They were also leaders of the opposition. Now you say, I'm leader of the opposition, I must be allowed to do this and that. But are you behaving in a way worthy of being leader of the opposition? Finally, ladies and gentlemen, 3 examples on Rahul Gandhi's erratic behavior. Example 1, hugging the Prime Minister. 20th July 2018, when the country began to get concerned. What is wrong with this man? Does anyone behave like this? Following it up with 23rd July, started winking at people. Winking in Parliament. People said, my God, what's wrong with this man? Does anyone behave like this? And then the flying kiss, the Smriti Irani incident. 9th August 2023, starts blowing flying kisses in Parliament. Now, under allegations of being intoxicated, calls a fellow member of Parliament a traitor. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a matter of concern what Bittu has said, that the LOP was intoxicated. I'm not taking it at face value. But let me say this, people of the country, as far as Rahul Gandhi is concerned, we have a problem.
Business as usual in Parliament this morning.
जो उचित समझो वो करो।
But what happens when Rahul Gandhi runs into his former party colleague and current BJP MP Ravneet Bittu?
Traitor walking right by. Take a look at the face. That's what it looks like. Hello, brother. Sir, thoda. My traitor friend. Surrender. Don't worry, you'll come back.
Look at the entire sequence from a different angle. When Rahul calls the grandson of a martyr, Beyond Singh, Ravneet Bittu a traitor. Watch also how Bittu gave it back.
Traitor walking right by. Take a look at the face. That's what it looks like. Hello, brother. Sir, thoda. My traitor friend. Surrender. Don't worry, you'll come back.
The entire sentence which was used by Rahul Gandhi was, "Hello, my traitor friend, you will soon come back to the Congress party." To which Ravneet Singh Bittu replied as, "You are the enemy of the nation." All the fellow MPs of the Congress party were seen laughing and mocking at that particular time, which was extremely shameful and disrespectful to the MOS Railways Ravneet Singh Bittu.
अगर ट्रेटर है तुम्हारे और भी कई दोस्त यार होंगे, मित्र होंगे जो ट्रेटर होंगे. But then why do you want him to come back if he's a traitor? No, it's a mindset.
There's national anger over reference to Bittu, a proud Sikh, as a traitor.
राहुल गांधी देशद्रोही है, गद्दार है देश का, तो उसको सभी गद्दार लगते हैं. इनका पूरा देश गद्दार है, देशद्रोही है. इन्होंने देश का बंटवारा किया है, सिखों के साथ हमेशा इन्होंने गलत काम किया है.
मेरी बात तो छोड़िए, आप हाथ मिलाने की बात कर रहे हो. आप देश के दुश्मन में नहीं हाथ मिलाऊं. आप सरदारों के खून से आपके हाथ रंगे हुए हैं, मैं हाथ नहीं मिलाऊंगा.
For a party that has blood on its hands over the 1984 anti-Sikh riots, Rahul has only ended up making it worse. Third day in a row, this budget session.
BJP today fielded Hardeep Singh Puri, Union Minister, and he joins me live today. Mr. Puri, in summary, how do you view that episode that happened on the steps of Parliament today?
My reaction, Arnab, is not that of a representative of the BJP or a cabinet minister. As a proud Sikh, someone who has been through the turmoil of 1984, I was deeply upset. And when I did the press conference today at the BJP headquarters, I pointed out that the choice of language by the honorable leader of opposition, the use of the word traitor, and he used this in English, where the meaning is that you commit treason against your nation, is deeply despicable. It is something that no one should use in a parliamentary discourse or in any discourse. Now, why does Mr. Gandhi choose to be so cavalier about it? Your program, I heard it in full volume. There are people sitting around Mr. Gandhi who are laughing, mocking Mr. Bittu. Have they forgotten the desecration of the Golden Temple in 1984? Have they forgotten the anti-Sikh riots? They were not riots, it was a pogrom against my community. 3,000 innocent people died. You know, we are only 1.6% or so of the country's population, and we comprise about 20% of the armed forces of the country. To name the Sikhs as traitors, and Mr. Bittu's own grandfather fell to an assassin's bullet. Now, I have never mixed religion and politics. I don't go to gurdwaras and speak, but I feel very strongly about this. I think Mr. Gandhi's conduct, and you cited several other instances. I can add another one. When Dr. Manmohan Singh was the Prime Minister, he passed an ordinance, rather the cabinet passed an ordinance, and Mr. Gandhi, in a press conference, tore that ordinance and threw it around. Now, apart from the winking, the hugging, today, I don't know whether what Mr. Bittu has said in his characterization of the state of his mind, whether he was intoxicated. I don't want to get into that because I don't know. But I can tell you, as somebody who was a civil servant for 39 years, 4 years of think tanking, and the 9th year as a minister, this is not the kind of language anyone should use. And Arnab ji, I'm not talking about the leader of opposition. No parliamentarian should use this language. Because what happens is, if it comes from the leader of opposition, many of us are then encouraged and feel incentivized to give it back in kind. Now, we have not had parliament functioning for 3 days. Today, I was in the parliament, in the Lok Sabha at 5 o'clock, when we were expecting the Honorable Prime Minister to speak. And what happened? Lady members of the Congress came and blocked the entrance physically. Now, there is a way you can physically throw them out, but surely some modicum of basic decency, and the use of the word traitor is, in my language, neither anchored in decency, nor in dignity, nor the kind of discourse that anyone should use in Parliament. And I think it's a very sad day for the Congress. After having, taken what they got after the 84 desecration of the Golden Temple and the anti-Sikh riots, people call it a genocide. People call it a pogrom. Because riot means that two sides fight. Here, members of one community were just picked on in cold blood and killed. And today, they have forgotten that. I don't know what state of mind this was, but to use the word traitor, I think I was upset as a Sikh, even more than the fact that I was upset as a BJP Karyakarta or as a union minister.
Well, when I met him in 2014, Mr. Puri, that's the only interview he's given. He stopped giving interviews after that. I asked him, did the Sikh riots take place? He said, absolutely. Were they completely wrong? He said, absolutely. I asked, were congressmen were involved? Then he asked me a question, did innocent people die? Absolutely. I asked him again, were congressmen involved? And then he said, some congressmen were involved. But he kept trying to say, I was not in action at that time. I was not in action at that time, as if not being in action. He was 15 years old then. As if not being in action was an alibi. So he has this issue with the Sikh community. He has a deep-seated bitterness which comes to the fore when dealing with respected members of the Sikh community, isn't it? I mean, I see a pattern building here. Especially the Congress Party's continued promotion of Jagdish Titler, its indirect endorsement of Sajjan Kumar. So there seems to be an animosity here, isn't it?
Arnab ji, I can tell you that I am entirely in agreement with you. Entirely in agreement with you on your characterization of his attitude towards the Sikhs. There is deep-rooted angst bordering on hatred. So that comes out. When you asked him the first questions in 2014, I must tell you, I'm not trying to flatter you on your show, but that interview I will always remember. It was many years ago, I think it was in 2014. I remember I was not in the party then. And I remember when you asked him, so I had a more charitable explanation then, that here is a 15-year-old who was perhaps traumatized by the fact that he lost a member of his family. He was perhaps traumatized by that. But today he is no longer a 15-year-old.
7 years.
Today he is the leader of opposition and he is the effective repository of power in the party. I don't want to get into a discussion on Mr. Kharge's position as president. I don't want to get into that debate. But the fact is, nothing moves in that party unless Mr. Gandhi or his sister or Srimati Sonia ji, somebody authorizes it. So, but he has to get over that. If you hate the Sikhs so much that you will to refer to them as traitors, then you have a larger problem, because the community, this is, some members of the community may have forgotten the desecration of the Golden Temple in 84. But they will not forget the cold-blooded killings that took place. I mean, 3,000 people of my community were killed in cold blood. They are called riots. They are not riots. A riot, by definition, is a two-way process. When two communities fight, This was cold-blooded pogrom. This was genocide. People picked on members of a community. Some members of my community were thrown from a second-floor roof in Delhi. They were burnt, as one of my colleagues said, with tires around their neck. So it's a very, very traumatic past, and we are trying to live that down. And Mr. Gandhi, of all people, should have not forgotten those lessons. So today, to call somebody a traitor just because he doesn't like the Sikhs, or because this gentleman was a member of his party and left him for a mature, a more positive political career based on development elsewhere. You can't call some traitor. And then he says, you will come back. I mean, I don't understand. If he's a traitor, why do you want him to come back? And so I think there is much about Mr. Gandhi, including that famous press conference where he tore up an ordinance passed by a cabinet, which I do not understand. I think they need to redo their sums. But certainly with today's conduct, both in terms of this remark and what the Congress party has been saying subsequently. I've read statements by other Congress leaders. They're saying, no, Mr. Bittu deserves this characterization. And they're doubling in. So I don't think they've learned the lesson. And I hope a program like yours with your viewers, when they see what Supriya Srinathji is saying or what Raja Waring is saying and the others are saying, it's a very sad day. A very sad day for the Congress party. The Congress party is imploding. Nobody wants to be in alliance with them. Congress party is losing state after state. But you don't do this to an entire community. Because the community, the Sikhs are very much an integral part of India. They've given their lives. I talked about the 350th anniversary of of Guru Tegh Bahadur, 9th Guru. I talked about the 10th Guru, how the Sahibzadas gave their lives for the country. And you call somebody a traitor, which means he's committed treason just because he left you, just because he doesn't like your politics. I mean, there are so many other Sikhs in Punjab, including former chief ministers. You should talk to them in private and ask them what they think of this gentleman.
Well, you mentioned 1984. I was actually, just a small aside, Mr. Puri, when that interview happened, I kept looking at him. I couldn't believe here was a man who was refusing to have any memory of 1984. I have a memory of 1984 because I used to live in A block, Chandarnagar, Janakpuri, which, as you know, Janakpuri, that part, and Tilaknagar, the maximum killings of Sikhs took place. I saw houses burning. I saw tires put around Sikhs. So I felt very strongly about it. Even today, the kada I wear here was gifted to me by a Sikh friend who lived with us in that period in 1984. So I found it incredible that he behaved like that. My last question to you, Mr. Puri, is, and I'm glad that the government fielded you, and I understand you were speaking as a Sikh more than as a politician, but nevertheless, is this all, are you giving him a long rope? The thing is that today, physical confrontation stopping the Prime Minister from speaking, calling a member of parliament a traitor, and saying things like, hey, look there, look at his face, look at that man's face, that's what a traitor looks like. This casual conversation. Is there no punitive action, no legal steps, nothing that you would do beyond a complaint? Shouldn't you be doing something there? I mean, I don't know. Is Rahul Gandhi supposed to get away with everything?
Arnabji, you ask a question which is absolutely relevant at this point. That can somebody make a statement like this and get away with it? My submission to you, Arnabji, is that he will not get away with it. Because maybe insofar as the discipline of the House is concerned, they will take the defense that this was a statement made outside the House. They will say it is a statement made partially in jest, it partly out of friendship. They will give all kinds of excuses. But this statement has been heard by the Sikh community, not just in India, the Sikh community, the worldwide. Look, I've had the privilege of serving in London, in Tokyo, in Geneva, in New York, in Brazil. Sikhs everywhere are very particular about this kind of an insult. And he recently went to the United States and he was in a crowd of young Sikh people. And he walked up to a young Sikh and said, in India you will not be allowed to wear a turban. I was incensed then. I mean, I wear a turban. Today I had other people with me in the press conference. I had Mr. Lovely, who has been elected 5 times, an MLA in Delhi. He was in the Congress party. I've had Maninder Singh Sirsa ji sit on my right. He was in the Akali party, had RP Singh. None of us have ever had a problem in wearing a turban. Who said that we can't wear a turban or can't wear a kara? You, my friend, are wearing a kara from your days in Janakpuri when you found these kinds of atrocities being committed against Sikhs. You're absolutely right. Janakpuri and Tilak Nagar were the places in Delhi where the worst atrocities were committed. So, thank you for doing this program. I'm here as an anguished Sikh, and I'm sure not only the Sikh community in Delhi but elsewhere will give a befitting reply because one is deserved. Will he course correct? I really don't know.
I don't think so.
This takes you back to the basic question about what Mr. Bittu said. I don't know. I mean, how can anybody in their conscience make a statement like this, then hope to get away? The judgment will come from the Janta, from the community, and from our Indian citizens, not just the Sikhs. I have a lot of my Hindu friends, my Christian Parsi friends, they're calling, ringing me, saying, hey, I saw this. What's happened to him? And then they're speculating. And one of them said he's pure nuts. That's all.
Well, I mean, yeah, possibly. Even that could be an understatement. But Hardeep Puri, thank you for putting your views so passionately on the program today. So passionately. And we saw the press conference, and I think we are proud of the way you're putting things.
Thank you
very much, Mr. Puri. Thank you very much. That's why I'm so proud to always say that Hardeep Puri is my many years senior from Hindu College, ladies and gentlemen. And that's another reason I hold him in such regard, besides other things. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. We have RP Singh with us, Jyotsna Tirunagiri of the TDP, RP Singh, National Spokesperson, BJP, R. Rajagopalan, impeccable speaker, Professor Akhil Swami, who represents the Congress perspective, and Nikhil Jain as well. And we have Tariq Khan. I want to ask Tariq Khan first. You're from Samajwadi Party. Does a person talk like this? Leader of opposition. Hey, look there, traitor, gadda, look at his face dekho, chehra dekho. Is this the way you talk? Is this right? Will you support this also? I don't think even Akhilesh would talk like this.
And you will support Nishikant Dubey saying inside Parliament, whole Nehru family, Gaddar, Makkar, Bhrashtachar and Ayyar. Do you support? Yes or no? Do you support?
Depends on the context in which it is said, because I am of the view that Nehru did a lot of things which are against our national interest.
Please be on the point, Arnab. Yes, do you agree or not? Simple.
Yeah, so can I answer that question?
You are disagreeing or agree?
I am saying something to you. No, why are you raising your voice?
Move forward. Arnab,
you don't behave like Rahul Gandhi. 1 minute.
Agree or disagree? Simple.
I say that I feel very angry. Right. I would say that Nehru betrayed the people of India when he said Nehru betrayed the people of India in 1962.
Arnab,
I believe Nehru, Rajagopalan, my point is Nehru betrayed the people of India so many times that I can't even hold account.
Rajagopalan, I want to ask Samajwadi Party spokesperson, what happened to Mayawati in UP Assembly when Mohan Singh Yadav was Chief Minister? What happened to her?
Arnab, you didn't reply to me. Arnab, you didn't reply me.
No reply is needed.
Are you scared? Are you scared? Arnab, please reply to my question.
In UP Assembly. What happened to Mayawati in UP Assembly when Mulls Singh Yadav...
The question is about... the question is about... I say this... 1 minute. The question is about... The question is about... See, I'll tell you one thing. Let me say one thing to you. Let me say one thing. Let me say one thing to you.
Please respond on Nishikant Dubey.
Yeah, let me say one thing to you. See...
You will allow somebody to say these...
Let me say one thing to you. Some people say that those who are children of politicians behave in an arrogant way. It's not necessarily true. Akhilesh is the son of a very senior politician. He doesn't behave like that. Nara Lokesh is the son. Let's get Jyotsna in. Nara Lokesh is the son of such a tall leader, Chandrababu Naidu. Would Nara Lokesh ever behave like that? It is not. Would Nara Lokesh ever behave like this, Jyotsna? I've seen Nara. Even when his father was in jail, he kept his composure and his dignity. He fought, but he never behaved like this. So it has not got to do with coming from a political family. The behavior is the problem.
You just now made a statement against the Kashmiri Pandits. So does it mean that you were trying to hurt the community of Kashmiri Pandits? They're also a very sensitive community. Let's be real. This was a remark to Ravneet Singh Bittu, who's a political turncoat. He is not representing the Punjabi or the Sikh community.
Okay, 1 minute. Just a minute. Let me say one thing to you. One minute. Just a minute.
Kashmiri Pandit. सुखविंदर रंधावा सरदार है, गुरजीत आलूजा सरदार है,
Who is a Kashmiri Pandit?
सरदार है, ये सारे थे ना वहाँ पर.
Who is a Kashmiri
All of these
Pandit?
four gentlemen are Sikhs. When this political turncoat called Bittu said ये देश के दुश्मन हैं, तब ये सरदारों को या पंजाबियों को या सिखों को देश के दुश्मन नहीं कहा जा रहा था. देश के दुश्मन तो इनकी पार्टी में बैठे हैं. मनिंदर सिंह सिरसा बीजेपी के जो मंत्री हैं दिल्ली में, the minister in the Delhi government of the BJP says Bindrewala.
But Nishikant's words have been expunged. The question is the Samajwadi Party spokesperson.
I am not even talking about
Nishikant's words have been
Nishikant Dubey.
expunged.
I am
Anyway,
not even talking about
that's my clear answer to the Samajwadi Party spokesperson. Now we have a problem here. Jyotsna is on the debate. I'd like to bring in Jyotsna.
Arnab ji, Abhi, what all has happened in the parliament? You have quoted about our leader Nara Lokesh. Okay. I'll give you a small example. Politics, especially when you are a MP or MLA or MLP, whatever, when you are carrying a position, you have to maintain a decorum. That's called decency. Ab yehi log hain, because Rahul Gandhi ji was the same person. I give utmost respect to him again. He was the same person who said, how can you question my nationalism? How can you question my patriotism? Yahi pucha tha na Arnab ji unhone. Now he casually called somebody a gaddar. Now there was a person who said, नहीं बीजेपी ने ऐसा बोला, बीजेपी ने वैसा बोला. अब मैं ये पूछ रही हूँ, अगर बीजेपी ने गलत किया तो आप क्यों गलत कर रहे हो? On the steps when you enter the parliament, you call a fellow parliamentarian, forget him if he's a Sikh, forget if he's a Hindu, forget if he's a Muslim, forget if he's a Christian, whatever. He's a fellow parliamentarian, right? It is bullying, Arnab ji. It is not even, heckling. It is called bullying. I'm a teacher, I tell you, it is called bullying. आप देखिए वहाँ पे वो visuals देखिए.
It was banter, madam.
It's called banter. Okay, 1 minute. Firstly, I'll tell you one thing. Jyotsna ji, Nikhil, come down. Akhil, 1 minute. I'll tell you what is banter and what is bullying. There are a couple of points to be made here. It is not Gaddar, it is traitor. Okay, RP Singh, RP versus Akhil.
No, Akhil, एक minute, just hold on. Word is traitor. Traitor is treason against the country. It's not Gaddar. It's much bigger than, it's much bolder than, and much harmful than just word using Gaddar. But traitor is who? Traitor is one who has signed MOU with the Communist Party of China. Traitor is who? Traitor is who takes money on name of Rajiv Gandhi Foundation and then doesn't tell what is the money for. This guy is traitor. Traitor is one who caused traitor for political functions. Man who is accused in 1984 killings. Traitor is who defends traitor. Traitor is one who ensures that all who were involved in 84 riots are forgiven, are part of his party still. He is traitor.
नहीं ऐसे नहीं बोलूंगा जब तक मुझे टाइम नहीं देंगे.
नहीं टाइम क्या लोगे? टाइम तो आपको देना.
मुझे टाइम दे तो मैं बोलूंगा. ऐसे नहीं बोलूंगा.
इस प्रकार की आपके नेता ने बदतमीजी करी आज एक सरदार के साथ. That can't be forgiven.
बोलने का टाइम दे.
That's the hatred DNA of the Congress Party. That's the DNA of the Congress Party hatred against Indira Gandhi ने एक मिनट की ना. Indira Gandhi ने Golden Temple हमला कराया, ऑपरेशन ब्लू स्टार किया, जबकि ऑप्शंस थी ऑपरेशन ब्लैक सेंटर जैसी. Even then she went for the operation blue star and then discredited our temple, and not only temple, there was bullet being fired at the Guru Granth Sahib also. तो वो है प्रॉब्लम आपकी हेट्रेड की. राजीव गांधी ने क्या कहा?
Can I say one thing, please? Can I say one thing? Can I make a comment? Put that paper down. Akhil, yeah, 1 minute. I'll tell you, I won't call anybody a traitor, but I want to say one thing. Then I will. Akhil, I will after 1 minute, please. I just want to make a comment. I'll come to you. Below you, ladies and gentlemen, are examples of the erratic, strange behavior of Rahul Gandhi. Hug, wink, kiss. Does any person behave like this? Now, at one time, it was said that he's a young man, he's 43, 44 years old, he's not experienced. Though I think at 43 years of age, people become president of United States of America. But it was said that Rahul Gandhi बहुत young है. अभी वो 43-year-old, 57-year-old हो गया. अभी भी डेब्यू चल रहा है 57 years में. Now the point is, Rajiv Gandhi justified the killing of Sikhs. इनके पिताजी ने सिखों के नरसंहार को जस्टिफाई किया ये कहते हुए कि जब भी कोई बड़ा पेड़ गिरता है तो धरती थोड़ी हिलती है. इन्होंने जस्टिफाई किया. Am I right?
क्या कहा?
इन्होंने जस्टिफाई किया. The killing of Sikhs was justified by Rahul Gandhi's father.
मुझे बोलने देंगे अर्नब आप.
Second point is Sajjan Kumar. Sajjan Kumar was involved in the killing of Sikhs, and Congress party gave Sajjan Kumar a ticket, Rajagopalan, to contest the elections in 1991. Again, he was given the ticket to contest from Outer Delhi in 2004. So Congress party said, Rajagopalan, आपने सिखों को मारा है, कोई बात नहीं, और मारिए. Then Jagdish Titler,
Rajagopalan. And moreover, what Mr. Puri has given you an example of 2 women blocked. Does it mean that Prime Minister was to be harmed? SPG cannot enter the Lok Sabha? Security agencies or TC yesterday and today.
No, Rajagopalan, I'll come to that in the second debate. But Akhil, बोलने देंगे नहीं बोलने देंगे की बात नहीं है. आपने जगदीश टाइटलर को प्रमोशन क्यों दिया पूछता है भारत. Why have you? Nation wants to know. Why did you promote Jagdish Titler after he was accused of murder? Murder in the 1984 riots. Talk to me, tell me.
सुनिए, चुप मुंह पे हाथ रखिए और चुप रहिए और सुनिए. हरदीप पुरी से जो आप बात कर रहे थे, हरदीप पुरी ने प्रूव कर दिया कि बिट्टू जो है ट्रेटर है. वो नेशन का ट्रेटर नहीं है, वो सिख कम्युनिटी का ट्रेटर है. 1984 में सिख नरसंहार हुआ. 1984 से लेकर 2024 तक बिट्टू कांग्रेस पार्टी में रहा और ये इस आदमी ने कांग्रेस का नमक खाया. 2 बार मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट बना, छोड़ के
उसी के चलते उसने पार्टी छोड़ी, इसलिए उसने राहुल गांधी से हाथ मिलाने का प्रयास किया. उनको करने के पीछे कौन थी? इंदिरा गांधी थी.
कम्युनिटी का ट्रेटर है. वो देश का ट्रेटर नहीं है, वो सिख कम्युनिटी का ट्रेटर है. उसने सिख धर्म को धोखा दिया.
I want अभी Akhil Swami has said that Sharad Pawar is a traitor because Sharad Pawar was also Sharad Pawar was also in the Congress party and broke away and formed that NCP. Yeah, everybody who has moved away from the Congress party is a traitor. क्योंकि आपकी जो सोच है, for you your whole world is limited to 10 जनपद. वो भी आपका घर नहीं है. Soon that will also have to be vacated.
PC Chaku, Sushmita.
Jyotsna.
Can you ask them a question? In Telangana, they have taken people who are, won from other parties into their party. So are they? What do you call them? उनको क्या बुलाओगे आप? कांग्रेस ज्वाइन करोगे तो वो पेट्रियट है. कांग्रेस छोड़ोगे तो वो ट्रेटर है. ये कहाँ की नीति है?
40 साल वो कांग्रेस में रहा. उसने कांग्रेस में मेंबर पार्लियामेंट रहा. उसने कांग्रेस को धोखा दिया. उसने सिख कम्युनिटी को धोखा दिया. वो ट्रेटर है. उसने सिख कम्युनिटी को धोखा दिया. वो ट्रेटर है.
राहुल गांधी बाहर जाकर कहते हैं, विदेश में जाकर कहते हैं कि
आरपी सिंह ट्रेटर नहीं है. आरपी सिंह ट्रेटर नहीं है. भारतीय जनता पार्टी में शुरू से है. बिट्टू ट्रेटर है. उसने सिख कम्युनिटी को धोखा दिया. सिख कम्युनिटी का ट्रेटर है वो. आरपी सिंह नहीं है ट्रेटर. बिट्टू ट्रेटर है.
सुष्मिता देव को नहीं बोला कभी ट्रेटर. पीसी
उसने हमारे स्वर्ण मंदिर के अपमान अगर करा था कांग्रेस ने तो 20 साल 40 साल
उसको नहीं ट्रेटर बोला उसने.
बिट्टू ट्रेटर है.
के प्रति नफरत है. यू हैव हेटेड अगेंस्ट सिख. यू हैव डीने हेटेड अगेंस्ट सिख. इंदिरा गांधी, राजीव गांधी और राहुल गांधी नाउ
सिख कम्युनिटी का ट्रेटर है. कम्युनिटी को धोखा दिया है.
राहुल गांधी
इसीलिए बीजेपी नहीं जीतती है पंजाब में. सिर्फ पंजाब में बीजेपी को वोट नहीं देते.
दिल्ली के अंदर. एंड यू से हुआ तो हुआ. यू डेयर टू से हुआ तो हुआ.
7 पार्लियामेंट जो है कांग्रेस के हैं।
I'll tell you. 1 minute. Hafiz Saeed. I want to make a point. 1 minute. Akhil, calm down. Volume down. You see, Rajagopalan. You know the value of Rahul Gandhi. हमारे प्रोफेशन में in journalism there is a lady journalist who got a lot of praise from Hafiz Saeed. I will not name, you will not name, we all know. Hafiz Saeed said she is the best journalist in India. Hafiz Saeed. Similarly, the terrorist Gurpatwant Singh Pannu, Khalistani terrorist, praises Rahul Gandhi. He says he is bold, pioneering. Am I right, Rajagopalan?
Yeah, you are right.
Because when Rahul Gandhi went to America and said Sikhs cannot wear the kara, कहते हैं Sikhs cannot wear the kara. He got praise from Khalistanis. Khalistanis are supporting Rahul Gandhi today. It's a reality. You're a pro-Khalistani voice.
Pannu has said it that. Apart from that, Arnab, Obama has written a big story on Rahul Gandhi, saying he's a nervous person, unformed quality. What does it mean? He also agrees with Pannu. Pannu has said very boldly that Rahul Gandhi supports Khalistan. Pannu has openly said that. And they must also understand that when he goes to foreign country, he says different things about Sardars and Sikhs. You cannot wear turban. Is it a statement that LOP can say in outside India? He cannot mention that.
Khalistanis. BJP called Sikh farmers Khalistanis. Arnab, the BJP was the one calling the Sikh farmers Khalistanis when they were sitting at the borders of Delhi 4 years ago. Their sitting member of parliament called a Sikh lady 100 rupees udhar pe bhade pe mil ke ye budiya. To apologize for that in the court.
One at a time.
BJP who said Sikhs are Khalistani.
Government calls Bindrewala a sant. Bail Singh, disowned Bittu's grandfather, who you called a martyr and is indeed a martyr, was a Congress chief minister. This same very Bittu was in the same very Congress for 4 decades. He had called Rahul Gandhi a terrorist. This is the same party that keeps on calling the Congress party Nehru, Gandhi, Sardar Patel and all the national heroes and leaders from the independence movement as Desh ke Gaddar, as terrorists.
Who has said Patel or Nehru ji as a Gaddar? No one has ever said Nehru ji and Patel sahab as Gaddar. Your fact which you are trying to spread.
Again. Why did Narendra surrender again? In the trade deal, they have put our farmers in the dock. Now American corporates will come.
Do you know anything about the trade deal? Is anything on record? Tell me, is anything on record as far as the trade deals go? How do you know that their farmers have been how do you know what the farmers' interests have been compromised? Tell me that.